It's my first tool review. Let's do it. Alright, I figured it was about time for me to review a tool. Something I really enjoyed. Something that I use almost daily is my track saw. So a couple things, let me get into it. A couple things this kit comes with. It comes with a saw, these two boxes right here, the top box which the saw is in, and then another interlocking case down here. This is where the charger would stay at. However, you don't have to use that as a case for the charger. You can just use it as any sort of case, right? And they're all interlocking, they all work great. Comes with a saw blade, 2 batteries. Looks a little bit like this. 2 batteries. They are 5 amp hour batteries, and a double charger, which has a nice little USB port right here. It's probably one of my favorite things about this charger, right? But let's talk about some of the good things about this saw, and I'll give you a solid list of some pros and cons. Okay, now a couple things about the saw that you may not be aware of. This is this little knob right there. Opens this pin and allows the saw to plunge. You have your trigger as well. The trigger only gets triggered, get it? The trigger only gets triggered once this top button is pressed and the saw can go down. Arm adjustments, so I can adjust this and figure out how deep I want it to go. Right? Now, typically what I do is I like to put it on the edge of the wood, edge of the piece, and kind of play my adjustment that way. And just kind of see where it needs to go and judge it based on that. Now, it looks like that's pretty good. You can also take off this piece if you need longer kind of depth adjustments as well. This is the bevel adjustment, so you can adjust this base, make it bevel. This is also locks it, this little washer locks it to the track. There is also a bottom knob that also makes it glide. If you're, for some reason, worn out your track or you're on a different track than the Makita one, then you would have to use that knob. A few things I really love about it. You will see just how easy and simple it is. Once you really get it set up, it glides quite nice. The 2 battery system is amazing. You can adjust the speed of the saw right here on this controller and see both your battery life right up in front and center. It is an incredible saw. Maybe wonder why I didn't, own one before. Let's see it do some cuts real quick. All right, cut has been made. Now, when cutting long pieces of material, I like to adjust. I like to make my first cut not super through, right? I like to make just a nice, easy, smooth, clean cut. This guy does it perfectly because you can adjust the depth of this. Right, then I like to adjust my stands to make sure that I don't lose everything and readjust the saw and cut through. So all I do is place the saw on the track and I make my adjustments. Now, after we make our adjustments, we cut through. Like butter. Very simple, very easy, awesome saw. All right, let's talk about some things that I like and don't like a little bit closer in person. Here we go. Okay, talking about the saw a little bit more intimately. It has a dust extraction port, which you can use with almost any kind of system. I can't use it on my big shop system that I have in here, but I can also just hook up a regular shop vac to this guy, angle any kind of way. That way you get dust extraction. There is some rules in residential buildings if you're doing any sort of, I don't know, renovations, that sort of thing. You need to make sure there's no dust, and it's also a good thing to keep for your clients. There is a lock right here that prevents the blade from going completely down, right? And it kind of locks it in for traveling, that sort of thing. You can remove it and it goes. There's also this guy knob right here, is to lock the blade. If you ever need to change the blade, this is how you do it. This is that kind of stop knob that locks it into place. All in all, a fantastic saw. One of my favorite to cut with. Is it a perfect saw? It's pretty close, right? It wouldn't be used as a circular saw. This guy really needs a track, in my personal opinion, which is one of my gripes with this saw. Let's talk about some of the negatives. There's not too many negatives on this. I mean, it's nice to have a battery-powered plunge saw that can just cut through a bunch of different material. One big negative is this housing. It is kind of a pain. If you ever need to change this blade, it is not quite nice to do so. You need to remove the housing, then you can remove the blade. Another huge, and probably the biggest gripe I have, is the track. It doesn't come with one of these. You need to buy the track separately. Now, there are some deals you can find where it comes with one of these tracks, but if you were buying this not Black Friday or not the holiday season, you are not going to get a track with this saw. And in my opinion, that's what makes this saw so good, right? It's not the saw itself, it's not the batteries, it's not anything, it's the track that makes this saw out of this world. Those are only, what, 2 gripes on probably the best plunge saw in the market right now. As you can see with these cuts, this saw is very, very hard to beat. And if I were to give it a quick impression, I would say everyone needs one of these saws. It's important. I know the track is extra money. It's like the most Apple thing I ever heard of. It's like Apple charging for their AirPods Max for new, like cuff guards, that sort of thing, right? It's like charging just for an essential accessory. But if you get both of these and find a deal with them both together, it is a very, very good saw. This alone, the kit that I showed you guys, this 2 batteries, charger, that sort of thing, is $500 US. You may be able to find it bundled together with a track. This track itself is about $100, I believe. This is one of the shortest tracks I've seen. They make longer tracks, and ideally I would love a track that I can cut a whole sheet of plywood with, right? I can cut them in half with this, which is the main reason why I bought it. Now you may be wondering why I bought it when I have this guy right here. Great question. The panel saw is great. The issue is a bunch of different things. First, it uses an 8 and I think it's a quarter, yeah, 8 1/4 inch blade, which you don't really find too often. It also is a little bit off. It's not super straight. It kind of leaves a little bit of a curve on it. I haven't been able to fix it. I've tried many different things, and it's not the greatest when it comes down to cutting. Rough cutting forms and things for epoxy, this guy wins every day. It cuts super nice, super easy. It's one of my favorites to use. However, cutting plywood, building cabinets, making cabinets, this is going to be the main system I use, hands down. I'm sure you're wondering, final verdict, buy this saw, all right? Save your money, buy it, never look back. It is fantastic, even with the little corks, it's perfect. Buy it. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next tool review. Leave a comment if you like these things. It's my first one, so I might get better with these reviews. There's a lot of tools that I've bought that definitely I have opinions on. Maybe some good, bad, that sort of thing, but I have a lot of tools that I can do reviews on. If you like these, maybe drop a comment, say more of these or whatever, right? But expect a couple more at least. All right, I will see you guys next video.